My name is Boyd Anger. I am 20 years old, about to turn 21 next week. I'm a rapper and producer from Oakland, California. And yeah, as you know, you heard the song. It's more on the aggressive, more dark side of
Yes.
hip hop rap stuff. A lot of influence from, punk and more hardcore rock stuff mixed in with it too. And yeah.
That's super cool. So right now, where do you live? Where do you come from?
So I'm in Oakland, California. This is where I was
Ah,
born.
okay.
Yeah, where I've lived pretty much my whole life. So yeah, I make everything. I make all the music right in the house I'm in right now. Actually, in the basement, I have this little home studio set up. It's pretty minimal. It's just the computer, the speakers, mostly a microphone, and yeah, I just put together pretty much everything down there.
Ah, that's super cool. I thought that you were from England, you know?
Oh no, yeah,
No, because I saw this featuring that you did with the Delilah Bon,
yeah,
Lauren Tate, and it's just crazy. So cool how
yeah.
everything started.
Yeah, so I actually did start before I was writing music. I was just producing music, um, and I was sort of moving around to different people's like houses or their basement, and just moving around to wherever people would let me make music, basically. Um, and yeah, I was making beats. They were rap beats. They were sort of a bit more all over the place when I first started, um, but I was definitely veering towards like a more aggressive, darker sound from the very beginning, pretty much. Um, and yeah, I just figured that out. And after a while, I was having trouble with figuring out how I would, get people onto my beats. So I
Yeah.
had all these beats I was making. I was like, oh well, no one, it's hard to find. I mean, you can send them to people, but it's like, well, I don't know if I want this person, and this person wants the beat. So eventually, I decided that I would try songwriting and try rapping, and I kind of just went for it, just did that, and that sort of is how the music came about, and that's yeah.
Sorry for that. So yeah, I discovered you through the Downfall. First the single, and after the music video.
Yeah.
Wow! How did you choose to work with Delilah Bon on this track?
Yeah. Delilah's awesome.
She's
We
yeah.
sort of just, yeah, we sort of just ran into each other on Instagram just because, like, on Instagram, and this is why I kind of tell people I really like Instagram is because there's sort of a way that, like, if people are putting out enough music and really like pushing stuff like regularly to people, then eventually you kind of run into people within the same space within your niche. And I mean, I met like I didn't even know how big of a scene there was for this kind of music until I really started, posting on all these social media platforms, and then you run into these people like, oh, I'm doing this, I'm doing this. So it's really cool. And yeah, Delilah was especially cool because like you said, she's all the way from the UK, and yeah, I met her on there. We were following each other. We had talked a few times. I told her I really liked her music. She really liked my music too. And I'd been working on this song for several months before I sent it to her. Um, and at first I was like, oh, I don't even know if she's gonna want to get on it because she already has all her own things going. But yeah, at first she didn't. She was like, oh, I'm too busy. I don't know if I can do that. But she changed her mind actually and was like, you know what, we could do this. We'll do this. And yeah, it came out really cool.
So how did you work on this music video?
Yeah, the red was just sort of well, I sometimes like when I listen to songs, I sometimes associate certain colors with certain sounds in a way. So when I was listening to this one, I just felt like the red would make sense. So I had this little red button up and I had the little red gloves in the video too. And I was like, I just pictured it in my head. I was like, this will look really cool. Um, and then yeah, I just sent that to Delilah. I told her like, okay, we should, have it look like this and this. And she went out and did her thing. And she was already had like the long red hair,
Yes.
before we did the video, so that helped even more that she already had the red going on. But yeah, no, we did that thing. And I have an amazing. I want to shout out my editor, Cyber Esme, who edits all my videos, and he did an amazing job with just cutting up all the clips together, putting it into a whole thing. Because these were sent in from like obviously, she's in the UK, I'm over here in California,
Yes.
so
I
and
just
and he,
discovered this right
yeah.
now. That
Yeah,
you are not from the UK.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and my video editor too, he's all the way across the country in like Detroit. So he's like in a whole different place than I am too. So it was just a lot of like coordinating between all these people, but it worked out really well because like everybody was so dedicated to making it come out so good.
So, how do you guys live this situation right now with this pandemic? Yeah, how the artists live this situation?
Right. Well, I know it's different for every artist because I know in well, I'll start with I know in like Delilah's case, have you heard her band Hands Off Gretel?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
discovered in 2020, I discovered a
Yeah.
lot of things. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so
So,
I know her and her band had a whole tour that actually
yes.
they couldn't go on the tour because of the pandemic. Yeah. So that's actually when she started doing the Delilah Bon songs, um, because she had all this extra time now, right?
Mm.
And so for me, it was a little bit different because I wasn't going on tour or anything yet. I've only been releasing songs for a year and a half,
Mm.
so still building that up, building up the fan base. And so for me, it was kind of like staying at home. I was like, well, I'm already staying at home.
Yeah,
I'm already doing
yeah.
this every day. So yeah, it makes certain things a bit more hard, but I would also say it's like a really big opportunity for like I think it all depends on how you look at it, because some people will say like some artists will say, "Oh, this is the worst thing now, everything's ruined," but some people will adapt to it and say, "Well, what can I do here that I couldn't do before?" Because whenever you lose one opportunity, there's new opportunities that come in.
Ah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Absolutely. And also, it was the perfect time for us to discover a lot of new band, new songs, new stuff. Thank you.
Mhm.
So you already launched a demo. You already released this demo. We can find it everywhere.
Yes.
Boy Duncher demo. So could you tell us a little more about it? Because there's a lot of song there.
Yeah, so the demo was actually it's more sort of a collection of singles that I just put out, and I sort of just wanted to put them all onto the one project together because I wanted to say like um I think like as an artist you hit certain points where like things evolve and go to another level. And I have a lot of songs I really liked in there, but from everything like beyond that, I kind of wanted to say, okay, let me like step it up, let me go further, let me like really see how I could push things up a bit. So yeah, the demo was like everything from like my first I believe my first 9 songs are in there, and those were just all songs I released as singles. So it's more like a compilation, but yeah, this year actually is when I'm planning to release my debut project that's going to be like, all new songs. So I'm
Yeah.
really excited about that.
I'm excited because I saw your post,
Hmm.
and yeah, you will something is arrives, something called Blissful Rune.
Yes.
Could
Yeah,
you
that's
tell me a little more about it?
yeah, that is the first single from the project I'm putting out later this year. And it's really different from what I've been putting out so far. It's like a very different mood. It's sort of also, I've been working with an amazing guy named Noah De Leon, who is also located across the country from me in
Oh,
Detroit. Um, and he's a multi-instrumentalist and a vocalist, and he's been helping me because I don't really know how to play instruments very well. So he's been helping me for the first time add like more live sounds into my music
mm,
to sort of bring these ideas I have to life. So that's been really cool. This is the first song out of several that me and him are working on together. And on top of that, it has more of like, I would say even more than songs I put out before, like more rock influence, a little bit of like emo influence in it. Um, and the mood of it is just like, it's sort of a reflection because everything like from this project I'm putting out was stuff I started in the pandemic, and you're at home this whole time, so it's sort of just a very direct like expression of like all the thoughts going through your head in this time and sort of just like reflecting on everything because when you have all that time to yourself to your thoughts it gets crazy sometimes because we
yes.
have like this rush of thoughts coming, so it's sort of just me putting all that out in the form of songs.
Wow. So you are going how many songs do can you tell us, or we
Yeah,
have
I
to
can tell you.
wait?
It's gonna be a 7 song project. I wanted to keep it like short, straight to the point. Um, and there should be 3 total singles coming out before the project.
Okay, so this all are going to be released in 12th of February, sorry.
Yeah, February 12th is the first single, and then I'm aiming to have the whole project out by the summer, so probably like another single in March or April, then the
Okay.
project in May or June, around that time.
I want to know if there is any music video with all those songs.
Yeah, I'm
Are you
definitely planning.
working on something?
Yeah, me and my editor have been working on a few different things. I've been having just I live with a friend of mine who I've known a very long time, and he's just been filming me doing stuff here and there. So we're definitely putting things together. I've been trying to get out. I've been trying to get out in like interesting weather conditions and get footage. Like when it's raining, we actually shot a couple videos, which was hard because it's not raining all the time over here. I sort of have to like, I would get up some mornings and be like, oh, it's raining. Let's go. Come on, get up. We're filming this. Uh, and doing
Cool.
stuff like that, just to try to, do something different with this one. And yeah, definitely a lot of videos, though. I know that videos are really important to accompany the music.
I want to know a little more now about you. What did you listen to when you were young?
Ooh, when I was young, honestly, most of the time, I would say, like, how young are we talking? Like elementary, middle school, around there, kind of. Yeah.
Why not?
I started because well, I'll say I started listening to rap music and stuff when I was about 11 because my cousin bought a CD from Wiz Khalifa and he brought that into my house. So that was the first time I actually really got exposed to rap music. But before then, it was just mostly stuff that I would hear my mom or my dad listening to. Which obviously a lot of the Beatles stuff like that. My mom really liked Beck, so I listened to Beck. Um, I've been pretty much my whole life really into Linkin Park. They're a big favorite of mine, and I sort of
Yeah.
have been re-listening to them a lot recently too. Um, what else? I mean, yeah, my mom used to show me all kinds of like Jimi Hendrix and stuff like that. Um, One of the first things that sticks out to me as something more kind of noisy and loud that I listen to is Sleigh Bells, if you've heard of them. Um, yeah, they're an American like noise pop, noise rock duo, and I remember hearing them on the radio when I was 11, and I usually don't ask like my mom what's on the radio, but I told her when I heard them, I was like, Mom, I want you to help me find this song like on the computer when we get home. And we found that, and I think that was one of the first like noise, like heavier sounds I got into.
Okay,
Yeah.
interesting, interesting. That you did a music that is completely different. You
Yeah.
put a lot of stuff in there, and it's really super cool. So, how did you get this idea? How it's work?
Well, I will say, like I said, when I'm 11 and started listening to rap and all this stuff,
Yeah,
like for a while, it's just like, okay, I was listening to Lil Wayne, Wiz Khalifa, Eminem,
yeah,
stuff like that. But once I started to get into like the more weirder stuff, like there's Tyler the Creator, some of like Kanye West albums really got to me when I was like 13, and hearing that stuff, which is a bit more experimental and different. I think when I was 13 is when I really started hearing stuff um like you sort of had several people at that time in the hip hop space starting to use more like industrial and heavy sounds and like a lot more electronic sounds. Like so I think hearing that really clicked with me to like, okay, I like that. Like I like when they have the really heavy bass sounds, the really
yeah.
like, sort of grindy electronic sounds, I like that. I was drawn to way more to that than like all the other stuff, and that's only become like really a bigger and bigger thing. I think even like a lot of the hip hop songs you hear on the radio now are like they have those sort of really intense, really heavy bass sounds, and like you see at the concerts, like oh, all the hip hop shows are like mosh pits and everything now. You know,
Yeah.
it's sort of becoming both in the mainstream and the alternative space. Like there's a big wave of like a more aggressive sound that people are drawn to. So I think mine is just kind of like that, but then kind of amplified, you know, because
Mm.
I'm listening to that stuff, and I listen to a lot of pop music stuff too right now. So it's just like everything comes together, and when I go in there, I'm just like, well, what would sound really cool on this? And especially with the stuff we're working on now, I'm actually trying to bring in like I have vocalists I'm working with who are doing like uh all types of melodic stuff. So I'm trying to like fuse more like, okay, there's what I'm doing, there's some singing going on. There's some like melodic, there's bridges and all this stuff. Where just like these like acoustic guitar parts. There's like all sorts of stuff. So I would say it's really just like when I hear something and it sounds cool, then I want to do it, you know?
Oh, that's wow. That sounds
Yeah.
really interesting. I cannot wait. Ah, damn. I have a lot of questions. Yeah, this is interesting. And what about your voice that you put, this scream?
When I had like the first song I ever worked on, well, I had written a few things where it was just like just regular raps and like, oh, you just rap these in a normal voice. But you know, like I said, the beats that I really liked and was really making were more dark and aggressive. So I said, okay, well, like what would make sense, you know, for this type of stuff? And just rapping with like you know, I tried doing stuff like okay, little just raps, like catchy raps. But that just didn't work with the kind of beats I was making
Yeah.
and the kind of sounds I was using. So I was like, well, I could try this. I mean, I listened to like I was really into, you know, Death Grips at the time I started working. They're amazing. But yeah, so I was just thinking of all this stuff and I was like, well, I could try screaming on this. And so I gave it a try, and that was my first song. It was called Swerve. And a lot of people I've just put that out on like all the streaming services. I pushed it to Instagram, and people who I was very surprised by were actually like, "Oh, this is actually like good. You know, you should like keep doing this and keep doing more of this." And especially with time, you really learn like how to fit into your own voice more and less trying to sound like other people. Because
Mm.
especially, I know especially something that a lot of the people who like on YouTube, all like the how to scream tutorials and all that stuff, they say, "Oh, don't try to sound like
Yeah,
someone else. Try to sound like
yeah,
your own voice."
you're right.
Because you know this kind of stuff is very easy to hurt your voice, very easy to damage it. So if you're trying to sound like someone you're not, then it won't really work. So that's what I just try to do is just sound like myself and like convey whatever I'm really feeling in that moment. You know.
Your favorite social media today?
Ooh, that's a good question. Social media is always complicated because as an artist, sometimes you don't want to be on it all the time, but if you
Yeah.
want, you know, people to hear your music, you kind of have to sometimes. It's like part of the job. So, I mean, right now, I've just started trying to like use TikTok and put stuff on TikTok
Yeah.
because, you know, that's the app that everyone's using. People are
Yes.
seeing like huge amounts of like, you know, growth on there. Like a lot of artists have like built their careers up from like virtually nothing just by
Yes.
going on that app and really having some posts that really took off, you know? And I think that is pretty cool. I kind of, you know, I'm on there sometimes and sometimes I'm doing the little screamy rap thing. I do like these little freestyles on there and stuff. And it's like these 14, 16-year-old kids like, oh, this sucks. Get this out of here. And it's like, damn, I'm out here getting roasted by little kids, you know?
Oh,
But
come
it's funny.
on.
It's fun. It's fine. But
Yeah.
yeah, I like it that, you know, I like pushing out of my comfort zone and trying new things. So I am starting to enjoy, you know, the TikTok stuff. I do like Instagram. Instagram is fun.
Mm.
I like connecting with people on there. But Instagram doesn't show posts to as many people as they used to. So it's starting to
Mhm.
get a little bit more difficult to grow on that platform, you know? So I would say to anybody watching who's an artist that really to pick like multiple platforms, like at least two, maybe three, and you know, really of YouTube should be a good one. YouTube too, because obviously you need the videos and stuff. But
Yes.
yeah, because I would say I know a lot of people stick to just one platform, but you know sometimes accounts get taken down. Sometimes whole platforms get taken down. Like you know they were threatening to take down TikTok a few months ago, like the president was or something. So I don't know, but you know, um, yeah,
Mm.
it's just good to have. I would say as much as possible because you never know what happens. It's good to be prepared and be on multiple platforms.
Okay. And another last thing, sorry.
Yeah.
About your merch, I can see that you are wearing
Oh yeah, yes.
yeah, it's
Oh
cool.
yeah,
Yes.
thank you.
This is the official merch.
Yeah, I haven't put these out yet, but I should put them out because people keep asking me about them. I should put them
Yes.
up somewhere. Yeah.
I
Um,
love this one. Yeah,
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 thank
yeah.
you.
So you should put a merch online because
I'll
I want
definitely
to
put these
get
up.
this.
Yeah, I'll put
Thank
this up.
you. Oh,
Yeah.
thank you so much. Last word for the French audience.
Oh, to everybody in France, thank you for watching this. Thank you for. I actually had a lot of people from France when I look on my Spotify. It's like a pretty big audience in France. So thank you to everyone in France who has been listening to Boy Danger. If you haven't yet, go check it out. We're on every streaming service. A lot of the social medias. Look up Boy Danger Takeover. You will find me. Um, and yeah, keep doing your thing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Really,
Yeah.
I appreciate this opportunity and keep doing what you are doing. I love it.